Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. So, I'm thankful. The Holy Spirit was guiding me just now. I made some really good art for the Lee CD 376 that I completed at some point in time last night before I had that dream that I told you all about. So I finally did the art. That's why I'm leaving the house. It's 1:43 right now. And I literally never do this, but as I was walking out the house, I was more or less compelled to check the playlist itself and just see what's all there. And sure enough, I found a song missing. Just found a song missing. And I know last night I did not delete this song. And funny enough is I remember exactly where I put it too. Because it was the same artist that I had used 3 songs prior to. So it was like, this artist, blank, blank, same artist. And so I'm like, as I'm scrolling through there, I'm like, where the dude other song at? Where's his other song? And I go and check, try to add it to the playlist and see that it had literally been missing. I don't know how it got deleted from my library. I don't know what the hell caused it to not be there. But they tried to, however that went, it wasn't there. And so I'm very thankful that God compelled me to do something I literally never do, which was check that playlist to make sure everything was there. And I believe that's the only song missing. I believe it is, but I honestly ain't sure. But it's just the point. It's like, that was one of my favorite songs on the dang playlist. And so that's what I wanted to say. Just thank God for allowing me to do what it is I never do, which was check the music. Because something told me that there may either be a song missing or it just compelled me to kind of look at it and just revamp over it. It wasn't that I was expecting nothing to be missing. It was more so just checking on it, just seeing, just looking what's there, just looking at how the fullness of what it looked like would be presented. And I'm like, nah, hell no, where's the song at? So that's how my afternoon is going. Just the Lord's kind of compelling me, man. I feel very blessed. I left the house feeling blessed, in much better spirits than I was over the last several days. I feel much more rested. I was slightly concerned about how my day was going to go because I hadn't left the house the last 2 days. And I needed to get some things today, so I knew I would eventually go out, but I also knew I had art to make, which I didn't want to rush that process. And then I wanted to listen to the playlist and make art too, but it's like, I can't do everything that I need to do, especially given the fact that I don't have a vehicle from which to move around. So if I'm going to get certain things done, I got to leave the house instead of just doing whatever I would otherwise want to do. So in this situation, it was like, all right, let me just eat my breakfast, shave my head, do the shower thing, do everything that needs to be done in that way, get the art done, and then leave the house after the art is done. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I would prefer to be listening to the playlist and doing more artwork instead. It's one of those things where I like to do art for playlists after doing several paper pieces, because it usually gives me more of a fullness to the playlist art. Because usually my first couple of pieces are not that great. If I'm doing like paper pieces, I usually find something really good after the 7th or 8th one. First couple are like just test runs or me getting in the swing of things or whatever. But now, I tell you the truth, I felt like doing art today, and the playlist art was fantastic. Honestly, it was. So, yeah, man, feel blessed. I see the bus across the street, but I kind of just want to do my walking thing anyway, as if it is not an hour and a half behind what I'm usually on schedule for. Laker game don't start till 7:30, so it ain't like I'm really in a rush. But it's just one of those things where used to being on schedule a certain way, but it doesn't matter. I need to exercise anyway. I'm just gonna move as I just intend to, and not worry too much about being late, as if I have somewhere to be on time. Rather just be a stickler for being consistent in timing. But as I told you guys, I canceled that doctor's appointment. I just ain't up for it. I got to get up early tomorrow. I just wasn't going to do it. But I know I will reschedule when my doctor is back from maternity leave. So I've yet to meet the lady, but I didn't want to start my doctor's process, my swing a thing process. I didn't want to go through that if it's not going to be my doctor in the first visit. That just ain't the way I want to do it. I'd rather the person that's going to see me be the person that's going to see me for good. So I got to see about that process. Tell my family, hey, you ain't going to get no details on what it is with me because I ain't going. And so I had that hanging over my head. And then just the prayers that I've been doing have helped a lot with not worrying too much about that. I asked the Lord to work that out for me, and just several other things I've been telling him to, kind of show me what he wants me to see. And of course, we got that dream that I saw last night, which I received in peace, even though it had a lot of angst to it. I think I took from it what the Lord wanted me to take from it. And now I'm just ready to kind of follow him in regards to how best to maneuver my friendship with KT, because a lot of times you just want people to be in the direction you want them to be in, and sometimes that is not the direction they need to be moving in for the betterment of what their life is. Just because you want them to be your significant other doesn't mean that they wired to be that, and you end up in a bad relationship or a bad marriage, or end up getting your feelings hurt because that person ain't gonna betray that for you, for what comes naturally to them. And it's just like, I don't want any of those problems. If the universe is telling me this person ain't supposed to be with me, or if the universe is telling me that I'm not going to perceive this person as giving me what it is I want from them, then I don't need to be putting them in categories that are going to require me to be getting from them what it is that they shouldn't be asked to give. I can be a much better friend, a much better homie, or whatever the case may be, and still not miss the bus on what is actually meant for me, and to not sway them away from what's meant for them. So yeah, I'm asking for direction. Obviously, tomorrow's a big holiday for that type of thing. Man, I've been dreading it a little bit just because of the distance, just because of these misplaced feelings and all this. But at the end of the day, I had that dream and I woke up feeling like, okay, I'm not going to ignore this. And I clearly see the universe trying to tell me something. Clearly, it's no swaying about it. I went to sleep meditating. I woke up having received what it is that I asked for. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was what I asked for. And I was thankful, and I said, look, God, if there's a way I can break the devotion that I have to this person in this way so I can put them in the category that you intend for me to put her in, show me the way. Because I don't want to be a person in any negative mindsets about a woman that was never supposed to be mine. You know what I mean? If she's supposed to be in a different space, or if I'm supposed to have a different way of thinking about her, me wanting more from her is the only reason why I would be disappointed in a dream like that. You know what I mean? It's not anything that I would care about at all if it were a different person that I wasn't pointed out in that way. It's me that needs the adjusting, as it's always been in this situation. So she's been very patient with me, just the same in regards to all of these thoughts. She hasn't told me to go away or nothing like that. And I appreciate how she accepts me for who I am. And I accept her for who she is. I just need to get a lot better at knowing what that looks like, and allowing her the freedom to not have to deal with my thoughts about what it is I want from her that ain't supposed to be given to me by her. And so that's really what it comes down to move in a direction that allows me to be at peace with the friendship, so that I can disarm myself of disappointment, and more so, furthermore, disarm the enemy from using that to make me a worse friend, make me a more selfish person toward this person. And that's really what it's all about. A lot of times we want so much what you want from people, but the reality is you are not giving them what they need from you, because in demanding so much from them, you're not giving them what it is that would be best from you for them. And if you truly say you love somebody in whatever way you do, the best way to be love, it's to show love. Rather than waiting for love to come your way, all conditional and such. And you know, when she responded to that this morning, I gave it to her the most raw way. I told her the aspect of it that I thought wouldn't make her feel good. I told her, you know, what I thought, and I told her, I'm like, listen, this dream, it didn't convince me of anything, but I do believe that the Lord is trying to show me something that I need not sway away from. And while I'm looking at it from the most positive perspective, at the end of the day, I do need to admit that this is not sending me the signals that would otherwise make it so that what it is that I want is what's being confirmed. But what I can say is, so long as I don't want all of that, I can be the best friend possible. I can do exactly what the Lord wants me to do in her life, so long as I'm not demanding so much and receiving so little of that for which I demand. And that devotion, that willfulness, as we talked about in therapy with Lydia, that willfulness is what ultimately I don't want to apply to my friend if it's a willfulness that's going to require that she be something other than what she wants to be. And so as I continue to live these days without her presence, but still receive what it is she does have for me, which is support through the phone and receiving support through the phone and all these different good energies, I don't see her sitting up saying, yo, I demand from you this, I demand from you that, stop hitting me up with this, maybe only hit me around this time. She accepts me for all of my different ways that may not align with who she wants and how she wants things to be. So why can't I do the same? It's what I'm always reminded when thinking of KT. And so that's what comes to mind today. It's like, you know, as I was meditating last night and the night before, prior to both of these nights, I prayed a lot about this situation as we were approaching Valentine's Day, and I was feeling Valentine's Day depression, which is what I call it. I was asking the Lord to help me through that. I'm like, man, this ain't right. This ain't right. It's not like she's asking of me to be a certain way and then proceeding not to meet the match of that energy. That's not what this is. This is my own willfulness and devotion being unwavering and unswayable, which can work in something that's being worked upon with you, but will work against you if what it is that you're working on, you are alone in. It takes two to tango. But last night when I was meditating, I tell you the truth, the Lord said, no, it takes three. Because you got to involve me. And that was deep, because it's like I've always listened to that saying, it takes two to tango. If she ain't with it and you ain't with it, it ain't going to work. But you need a third party if you're a believer. If you're truly a believer in God, then you know that's not a two-person situation. You need you, that other person you're trying to be with, and the Most High to bless that with everything that'll work into the favor of what it is you guys are doing. And so that's what it took. It takes three to tango. Three. And he said, so in the event that I was going to sleep last night, right before I had that dream, that's essentially what he was telling me. It's like, look, you're involving me in this. So there's nothing I can't do for y'all or for you. I may give you something that you don't want in regards to receiving this, but it doesn't mean that I can't change what it is that I'm looking at or change what it is that you're looking at to better fit what it is that y'all are supposed to be about. Because you've involved me, it ain't as simple as this and that's it. I can change things. I can make things different for that. I can make you better, make her better, and bring y'all together, but you got to allow me to stay involved. That's what God was essentially saying. It takes three to tango, not just two, if you're a believer. And so that's what I was getting last night before I had that dream. And I had that dream, I'm like, all right, well, it doesn't look like I'm going to be tangoing with her. But as I gave her the DMs that let her understand what it is that I dreamed about and what I took from it, she received it very well. Thanked me for sharing it. I wasn't expecting that type of response. You know, she said she loved me forever and thanked me for accepting her as she's continuing to try to better herself. And then I gave her a lot to think about. And that was the last thing I thought I was going to receive. I thought it was going to be somewhere along the lines of, no response at all, or I think it'd be best if you don't send me so much. That kind of thing. Don't send me all these DMs. That's essentially what I thought. But the reality was that wasn't what the Lord had in mind. He allowed her to receive that in a different state of mind, and maybe she took from it some good things. Maybe she took from it some perspective. Maybe she just wanted to respond in such a way that allowed me to think it was perspective. But the point was, we walked away from that with good things to say about one another. And my whole point of view was, I think that dream, if I were to take it on with a godless point of view, without no third party, this is a dream. The universe is telling me to stay away from this person. Or the universe is telling me to share this perspective with this person so that they can have some understanding of what the universe is telling me. And if they don't like what the universe is telling me about them, maybe they then be privy enough to change it about themselves, if it is for which applies. And that's what it was that the Lord was giving me. He said, you have a friendship with this person. You could tell her this. You don't have to take on this dream and then moonwalk. You don't have to do that. You could take this dream, share with her all the points of views within it that you received, and then triple down on the fact that you appreciate this person and want to see her happy, independent of the various things that you ultimately are praying for yourself. And that's what I did. You don't have to look at it as, she treating you bad and your mama didn't like her and that's it. You can see that in many different ways. Although that is one way to look at it too. My mom was not pleased when she handed her the towel in the dream. But it wasn't like my mother told me anything other than what it is that was true, which is what she needed. She needed a breather. She needed some space, or whatever the word she used. It wasn't that, this person ain't doing you right, this person, none of that. And maybe that in my mind and in my mother's mind means that I'm not being treated right for what it is that I want. But that doesn't mean that what I want is right. That doesn't mean that I put this person in the proper light in my mind for which to receive what it is that she has to give properly. And so that's what it is that I took from that. She is nobody's property but the Lord's. And anytime you start being possessive, saying this person's supposed to this person's supposed to that, you miss the boat on what it is that the third party is trying to get you to understand. That y'all both belong to Him. And whatever dance y'all do is going to be because He allows for the music to play. And if that person is ever going to grow into the person that you want them to be, it ain't going to be you hiding what it is the universe is showing you in regards to them. You got to let them know what it is that you see. Especially if y'all as close as y'all claim to be. We talk about dreams all the time, and then I finally have a dream about her, and maybe isn't all that favorable to the friendship or what have you. And I'm supposed to hide that and just moonwalk, or hide that and just never hit her up again, or hide that and have an attitude. I think that's what the enemy would want me to do. Just keep that to myself, because it's saying to not speak on stuff like that. And then proceed to have a certain attitude or a certain guarded energy about her from here on out, that she would automatically be able to receive through my communication or lack thereof. And then from there feel the shift in energy, which is what the enemy definitely wants. The energy to shift from positive and optimistic to guarded and reserved, and furthermore away. And I know the enemy likes to use those type of things against us. And he's going to use the culture of being silent and being sane, as in, I'm not going to speak on this because it make me look crazy. Or I'm not going to share my dream because people who share dreams often don't have a space from which to differentiate what is coming their way from being true versus what it is that they ultimately are finding made up in their mind through that dream. So she going to think I'm crazy because she going to think I believe everything in this dream, so I better not share it. Or vice versa. Maybe she thinks I believe everything in this dream, and now she ain't gonna think. Who knows? The point is, there's balance to say that I ain't convinced of nothing in that dream other than the fact that I asked for it and it was received. That's the only thing I can honestly say came true to me, is that I prayed about something before I went to sleep, specifically asked the Lord to show me something, and he proceeded to show me that. Now what happens after that is up to me, how I react, how I interpret it, if I'm willing to share it, how she interprets it, how much of that I take as fact versus my own imagination. All of these different things can too be prayed about, no different than the dream itself. And maybe I can see in the future, if I'm not treated a certain way, or if I'm not happy with the way things are going, or what have you, I can't sit up here and say, Lord, I didn't get that warning, because it came. But I also ask the Lord, what you want me to do with this warning? Because I feel somewhat chained to this person, in a sense that my devotion and my willfulness wants to never let them go, even though I know what it is that I'm seeing in this dream would otherwise coerce me to do so. Am I supposed to be this person that makes the wrong decision in my friendships by putting friends in the wrong categories and then not being able to let go of that to the willfulness of my own mental health? Or is there something you can do to help me heed the wisdom for which I know is what I should do? How do I do this while balancing out what it is that means the most to me, which is my friend in this situation? Because the object of this is not to get from her what it is I want from her, but to enjoy the life I'm in as she is a part of it, playing a certain role that the Lord has made it so that she play. Now, do I want to be mistreated by my friend or mistreat her because I perceive what she's doing as mistreatment? No, that's what the enemy wants me to do. I want to see the good in this person. I want her to see the good in me, and I want her to grow through what it is that I'm showing her, so that if what it is that I don't like about the dream is, if it's in her, she can make the changes necessary, or at least be privy of the fact that somebody is rooting for her to do so. But whatever the case may be, it doesn't have to be me hiding that from her as it came to me, if she's somebody that I pray for as much as I do claim to, and for which I do. So it's like, nah, this was for her as much as it was for me. She needs to know whatever it was that she could perceive from within what it is I described. And I think she received it properly, and from there she'll decide, man, what she wants to do with that. But as for me, I walk away with lighter feet. I feel better about the days ahead in regards to this Valentine's Day thing or what have you. I don't think my friend has got it wrong as it pertains to trying to better herself, or that she's taking any steps back in her bettering herself just because of what the universe showed me last night in this dream. Not necessarily at all. I think she may be on the right path, and this might have been what propels her forward to the next leg of that. And so that's how I take it. And look, I know I'm privy to things spiritually that she may not be able to be. Maybe she don't receive these type of dreams. That's not how the Lord communicates to her. Maybe he communicates to me for her, through me, by way of these type of dreams. So if I withhold this dream from her, who's to say that I'm not doing the wrong thing? And so that's what it was. It was like, I'll risk the fact that I'm putting these DMs in her inbox. I will warn her with a text to a different aspect of her phone to let her know, hey, I hit your inbox up in IG with a dream with good energy attached. It's a dream that came to me. I prayed about it before, I'm praying about it after, and this is what came to me to ultimately share to you. So now that I move in that direction, I've covered all my bases, prepared her for what is in there. She may not necessarily be as overwhelmed with what she sees. She knows it's there, so she can open it up when she's ready to receive it. And so those are the difference. That's the growth that I've taken on since the last time we had a conversation about that type of thing. I have no intentions of doing that again, you know what I mean? Out of respect for that conversation. But when a dream come my way, 5:45 in the morning, it ain't got nothing to do with anything other than her, it felt to me that it was responsible for me to share that with her, knowing the prayers I prayed before going to sleep about her, knowing that I asked for a dream, and knowing that I received one. I felt like it was responsible in that way. And so that's what I did. I shared that with her. And I hope that as she goes about her day, she feels as light on her feet as I feel right now as I talk about it. Because I'm telling you, it's like a whole load off of my back. since I meditated about those things, the Lord showed me what it was, and then I shared it with her. It's like I did something to lighten up this whole energy that I got going on right now in regards to Valentine's Day. And you can see it in my eyes from the difference I was feeling these last 2 days, which I think contributed somewhat to why I was staying in the house, although not really. But I just feel like I did my job there, you know? And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys, man. Just give y'all a rundown of how I'm feeling. I feel light on my feet. I feel like I'm in better shape today than I was when I was so exhausted 2 days ago. I feel a bit more free. I feel closer to my friend. I feel more equipped to respect that some of the things that I thought that she might have been struggling with, maybe the universe is telling me that some of those things are confirmed, that she might be struggling with a few things, or had been up until this point. Hopefully those struggles ended right here and now. Maybe none of that's the truth. But sometimes you just need to let people know what it is that you've received when you've, especially if you've asked. Especially if you've asked. Now, if I didn't ask for that dream, if I wasn't meditating on her and she just popped up in a dream, maybe I don't handle it the same way. But because I asked for that, meditated about it for a good hour before I started my playlist, I knew that it was okay to share it. So that's what I have to say, man. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there. And just understand, if you really care about somebody, there are a lot of ways to vet them. If you really want to get to know somebody, you think you have feelings for somebody, you don't know if the universe wants you to be with them or not. You don't know if God has intentions for you to be close to them or not. I'll tell you what worked for me. I'll tell you what's working for me. Prayer, ask, and you shall receive. My name is BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.